Tim Collins with Cullman Today. I'm now in the office of Paul Bussman, Senator. We missed last week. It was the State of the Communities by the Chamber at the Civic Center. It was a good event. So I have no idea what's going on in the Senate. Really, you're the man to ask, where are we at in the Senate at this time?
Well, we're doing pretty good. We had a very good week last week. We passed a lot of bills that we should have passed a long time ago. We passed the constitutional amendment for the unborn child, which would allow the citizens of Alabama to vote to say whether an unborn child is important or not. If that occurs and we get the vote that we feel pretty confident we're going to get by the people, if Roe versus Wade was ever overturned, then Alabama would already have a standard of this is what we believe that the unborn child needs to be protected. I think it's a great, important thing that we've done, and I think it's important that people pay attention when elections come around. That will be on the ballot, and we hope that will pass.
Well, now we're almost past the dog days of the session. We're down to about 3 weeks, aren't we? There's still a lot to be done, and I don't know how you're going to get it done in 3 weeks.
Well, the governor issue put a lot of problems in place. Those are gone. And so now there's a refocus on what we need to do. You know, most of us were sitting back thinking that we're going to have an impeachment trial and things were not going to go well. And as we worked in the backgrounds hoping that would happen, hoping that would not happen, and it didn't. And so we're very excited about where we're at. We've still got budgets to pass. We've got redistricting to pass. We've got, like I said, both budgets. We've passed one, but we've got the other one that's got to pass. And so there's a lot of important things that we've got to get done in the next 3.5 weeks to get done, and so we don't have a special session again this year.
Well, let's talk just a little bit about redistricting. It sounds like an arcane subject, but basically it's the districts that each senator, representative has. I've looked at what I think is the proposed map. I don't see many changes for this district and around Cullman County and really northern Alabama.
District 4 stays relatively the same. You know, we may see 1-2 box maybe change, but for the most part, my district's going to stay intact. And what happened was a federal judge said that when we redistricted after the 2010 census, there was some discrepancies in that redistricting, and so they sent it back to us to do it again, and they're doing that. And most of these areas are areas where there was a feeling that minorities were packed into a district to affect the vote. I don't think they did that, but that was the assumption, and so they had to fix that, and the judge has ordered us to fix that. So we've got to pass that before we get out of this session. And like I said, my district's going to stay the same. I'm very happy with my district. I've got some great people in my district, and so I was very excited to see my district stay the same.
I think it's going to stay the same. Now, I'm going to switch gears to a bill that you've had great interest in since we've been talking for this session. It's the monument bill. You've been a proponent of that. I know a lot of citizens in Cullman County and District 4 are big on it. Looks like the Senate is either passed that or is going to pass it. That should move it right to the governor's office, shouldn't it?
Well, we passed it, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the House passed it yesterday at a late hour, but they finally got it out. Hopefully they didn't make any changes to it. If they didn't make any changes to it, it goes directly to the governor's office for signature. And that's what I'm hoping happened. I haven't confirmed that, but if for some reason they made an amendment or they changed it in any way, it would have to come back to the Senate again for us to vote on it again.
And for those who may have forgotten or not followed it closely, this is kind of a big deal. Can you summarize what the net effect would be after the governor signs it when she does?
Well, we've seen a lot of monuments that were just routinely taken down or moved. And we think that history is very important to the state of Alabama. Whether it's right or wrong, it's history, and we need to respect that history. And so what we've done, we've set a path or a process by which a monument could be taken down if it was requested. But it would have to go through a very strict process, and it would not be a political process. It would be more of a why is this monument to be taken down? And there would have to be good explanation for that monument to be removed.
Yeah, so it's not just a random takedown.
No, you can't do like the governor did with the Confederate flags. You can't just take those down. That would, in this bill, that would not be an option.
Well, I believe there's a fair amount of citizen support for that. And I'm going to switch gears on you briefly. I don't know if I want to call it politics, but it kind of is. Governor Ivey is now in office. She came out of the box running hard. What's your impression of her service and ability so far?
Oh, I'm very excited about Governor Ivey. She has come in ready to go to work. It was obvious that she was prepared and has been prepared for this position, knowing what was coming. But she has made some tremendous moves already. She's eliminated some positions. She's doing it in a very educated way. She's looking at all the cabinet members individually. She's just not going in there and getting rid of all of them. If there are some that she didn't agree with or didn't feel comfortable with, she has removed them. And I think that's a tremendous way to do things. She's been to Washington to meet President Trump, but I think she has the ability to unify this state and to move it forward. And I'm very excited where we're at. And I told her that the other day when I saw her. I was very excited where what she was doing and how she was going by the process. And we're very excited about that right now.
Well, we've got 3 weeks left. I'll return again next week. I suspect you're going to have more to talk about in a substantial way then.
Well, we'll have redistricting probably next week. We've got the general fund to get out of the Senate in the week after that. We've got the education fund coming back to us, I'm sure, because there's going to be some changes. And hopefully we can get all this done without having a special session, and that's my intent. We don't need another special session. We've done that enough.
Well, it should be exciting as you get down the final few days. Senator, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Good to be here.